I'm Herta van Stiegel, author of the book, The Mountain Within. I was a successful investment banker and worked for organizations like Citibank, JP Morgan, AIG Financial Products. I built and ran structured finance businesses. But the reason I really wanted to write this book now is because I firmly believe that the financial crisis we are in right now is not just of a financial nature, but it is a crisis of leadership, a crisis of principles. The book will examine a number of lessons that I believe we can learn in being the kind of leaders that we need right now at this critical time, whether it's in our families, in our organizations, or in the country where we find ourselves. The book, The Mountain Within, has a compelling narrative based on an expedition I led of disabled and non-disabled climbers up Mount Kilimanjaro. And we learned that everybody's entitled to their dreams, that we can achieve a lot more together than any one of us separately. If you can lead a group of volunteers, you can lead anything. And from this vantage point, I have written the book, The Mountain Within. The book includes this very dramatic narrative of the Kilimanjaro expedition, but it also includes a very specific business application, then an interview with a high-profile political or business leader who, in my view, really embodies that particular lesson.
When I was 29, Playboy Enterprises got into serious financial trouble, and I persuaded my father and the board that I was the person who could lead the effort to turn the company around. In order to be able to do that, I realized that I had to pace myself, that this was going to be a marathon and not a sprint, and learning how to pace myself became critical to my ability to succeed.
You will meet some of our climbers. Jamie Smith, for example, who is an autistic climber, and yet with his buddy, Morgan Roy, made it to the top of Kilimanjaro.
I think when you're preparing, it's a really good question to ask, what do I need to do to enable this person to help me do what I want to do? What are the obstacles in their way that would make it more difficult for them to help me?
Charlie, in working at Next with Steve Jobs, what was that like?
You know, we created an organization where actually challenging the decision-making process was part of the DNA, right? And Steve is, of course, the uber challenger.
I love that.
When I get on a board, the person who has the most opposite opinion of mine, that's the person I'm going to have lunch with right away, because I'm going to learn so much from them.
The last lesson being, don't stay too long at the top. Having climbed Kilimanjaro, I can assure you people act very funny when they have 50% less oxygen than they have at sea level. The same applies to the business world, to the political world. We need to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground, otherwise we can lose perspective. So whether you are at the apex of your career, or whether you are a young person who graduated from business school or law school and wants to climb the corporate ladder, I believe this book is for you.